My wife's best friend tried to ruin my marriage, so I exposed her secret at a family party. I didn't plan to say anything that night. In fact, when we first arrived at my in-laws' house for my father-in-law's birthday dinner, I told myself I was just going to smile, eat the food, and get through the evening. My wife looked beautiful in a dark blue dress she'd bought the week before, and for the first hour, everything felt normal. Then her best friend Lena showed up. Lena had been part of our lives for years. She and my wife met in college and had been inseparable ever since. Girls' trips, late-night phone calls, inside jokes I never understood. At first, I thought she was great. Friendly, funny, always the loudest person in the room. But about 6 months ago, things changed. Lena started dropping little comments whenever we were around other people. "Are you sure you want to trust him with the finances?" she'd joke to my wife. Or, "Men always change after marriage. Just wait." Everyone would laugh it off. But I noticed the way she looked at me when she said those things, like she was planting seeds. At first I ignored it. Then one night my wife asked me a strange question while we were washing dishes. "Have you ever hidden money from me?" she asked casually. I remember staring at her confused. We'd always been completely open about finances. Shared accounts, shared passwords, everything. "No," I said. "Why would you ask that?" She shrugged and said Lena mentioned that a lot of husbands secretly keep backup accounts. That was the first moment I realized Lena might actually be trying to damage our marriage. Over the next few months it got worse. She started telling my wife stories about men cheating, about husbands who lied, about marriages that looked perfect but secretly weren't. She never accused me directly, but the implication was always there. My wife trusted me, but I could see the doubt creeping in. Then 3 weeks ago I accidentally discovered why Lena was doing it. My wife had left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. A message popped up from Lena. Normally I never read her messages, but the preview caught my eye. "You deserve better than him." I wish I could say I ignored it, but I didn't. I opened the conversation, and that's when I saw everything. Dozens of messages from Lena trying to convince my wife that I wasn't good enough, saying she'd heard things about me, saying she thought I might be hiding something, but buried further down the thread was something even more interesting. My wife had asked Lena why she cared so much. Lena's response was simple: "Because if you two break up, maybe I'd finally have a chance." I stared at the screen for a long time. Lena wasn't trying to protect my wife. She was trying to replace her. I showed the messages to my wife that same night. She looked sick when she read them. The betrayal hit her harder than it hit me. She said she didn't want to start a huge fight. She just wanted distance. But Lena didn't stop. A week later, she told several mutual friends she suspected I was cheating. That's when I decided I was done staying quiet. Which brings us back to my father-in-law's birthday dinner. Halfway through the evening, Lena raised her glass and said she had something she wanted to say. My stomach tightened because I knew exactly what was coming. She started talking about loyalty, about honesty in relationships, about how important it was to really know the person you're married to. The room got quiet. Then she looked directly at me. "I just think," she said sweetly, "that sometimes people deserve to know the truth about their partner." A few people shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. My wife squeezed my hand under the table, and that's when I stood up. I pulled out my phone and calmly said, "You're right, Lena. People do deserve to know the truth." Then I turned the screen toward the room and opened the messages she'd sent. The ones where she admitted she wanted my wife's marriage to fail. The ones where she said she hoped we'd break up so she could finally have a chance. You could hear a fork drop on the floor. Lena's face went white. My wife didn't say a word. She just watched her, and for the first time all night, Lena had absolutely nothing to say.